Hi, I'm Pat O'Brien, and I am the coordinator for the Central Absentee Precinct poll watching activities. And I'm here today to share with you all the information that I have gleaned over the years in my CAP poll watching experiences. I welcome you to this poll watcher training for the special election and the general election for 2025. And this training session consists of 6 different segments. The first segment will go over some basics about exactly what CAP is and what the CAP functions are. And we'll also go over some basic poll watcher training information. And then the second, third, fourth, and fifth sections will go over the different sections of the functions that actually happen at CAP. And then the final segments will be CAP reporting, and we'll also go over some basic information, just certain links that you'll need to function as a poll watcher and some general information. So with that, let's just get started. Okay, the introduction to the Central Absentee Precinct. Exactly what is the Central Absentee Precinct, and exactly what do the poll watchers do there? So basically, CAP is a single precinct operation in and of itself. It's just like the precincts that you go to when you go to vote on election day. It's governed by the same laws, and it is where the absentee ballots are mailed out. The ballots are returned to the absentee ballot. They are processed there, checked into the voter registration system. They are checked in, the ballots are extracted for the scanning process so they can be counted, and at the end of all of that, the results are tabulated. CAP is also managed by the Fairfax County Office of Elections at the Fairfax County Government Center, and it is governed by Virginia election laws. Our objectives today for this training is to educate the poll watchers on the different processes and procedures that are used at CAP, and also to familiarize you with the equipment that will be used at CAP to process the ballots. And this year we're very lucky. We have new equipment, especially the scanners that are going to be used, and that's very exciting. We're also going to provide the CAP poll watchers exactly what your roles and responsibilities are. And we're going to instruct you on how to report your data at the end of the shift on a paper report form, which will be entered online when you get home, and also how you can report any improper procedures that you may encounter during your poll watching activities. When you go to be a poll watcher, we suggest that you wear comfortable clothing and shoes that look respectable. We want you to know that you will be given a vest that is very similar to what you'll see the road workers wearing. It's a vest with a reflective coating on it, and you will be given that vest by the election office when you check in, and you will be required to wear it anytime you're doing any CAP poll watching activities. It also has a little plastic area where it shows that you are an authorized representative of the Republican Party. Also, we suggest that you don't wear any perfumes or anything that might have scents in it, because the quarters that you're going to be working in are very small, and people that have allergies could become overwhelmed with it. And we ask that you do not wear anything that's political in nature, that is related to law enforcement or the military. For example, we don't want you to wear any MAGA hats or anything that could be inflammatory to the other people that are in the facility. You need to bring at least one copy of your letter of authorization, which you will receive by email at the end of this training. You need to bring a copy for each shift, because when you sign in, they will keep your copy. We suggest you bring training aids such as this PowerPoint presentation, and any job aid information that might be helpful. We'll be sending you a pocket guide that is a one-page list of all kinds of information that's relative to poll watching at CAP. We ask you to bring a fully charged cell phone just in case you need to call the Republican Party of Virginia's helpline in case you do witness an incident and need help resolving it. And we ask that you bring your own food and drink. We never eat the election officers or the CAP personnel food that's put out for them. When you are eating your food or drinking your drinks, we ask that you not do it anywhere where there's ballots being processed. You can actually go into the hallways in the government center. There's lots of benches out there, so it's a good place to eat and drink a snack or your lunch. I've done it many times myself. And also, when you get to the CAP, when you enter the room that's all the processes are being conducted in, whatever process you're poll watching for, whether it be mail or check-in, scanning, ballot extraction, you should introduce yourself to the team leads and the chief or assistant chief. Walk into CAP with the assumption that you're going to observe a well-run operation. All the election officers and the seasonal staff are very well trained. The team leads are very good. I know each one of them, and they're all doing their jobs to the best of their ability. Please be respectful, professional, and polite. Remember that you're representing the Republican Party. As far as cell phones are concerned, again, they are permitted, but please, no photos or videos are allowed inside the central absentee precinct. So if you need to make a phone call, we ask that you step outside into the hallway, but please, no photos or videos. If you do take a photo or video, they will ask you to leave the area. Just some tips while you're poll watching. We ask you not to argue with any of the team leads or the chief or assistant chief. If you do have a concern or you witness something that you think is outside of the processes, the procedures that are legal, we ask that you don't argue with them. If you can't resolve the problem, we ask that you call the Republican Party of Virginia helpline. You can either call them or email them, and they usually get back to you very quickly. They usually have a bank of lawyers that are there to help the poll watchers or anybody that's working in the election areas. So that's how you would handle that. If you do witness an incident, we ask you to document the facts on your report form, contact the poll watchers hotline or the poll watchers email and inform us of what the incident is and what is going on. Again, speak only to the chief, assistant chief, and team leads. You don't want to speak to any of the CAP workers, the election officers, the seasonal workers. Avoid conversations. Of course, when you're talking to people, you're not able to observe or listen to what's going on in the actual processing of the ballots. And avoid any inflammatory language. Be professional at all times. We don't want to give them an excuse to expel any of the poll watchers. If you're inside the CAB, you can observe and raise concerns, but if you get removed, then you can't do that. So I don't think you'll have any problem. Most of the people in charge are very good. So if you do get removed inappropriately, of course, call the Republican Party of Virginia helpline right away. And just a suggestion that you stay current. We're going to provide you with a link to our resources page, and you'll find all the information in there, including this presentation, the CAP poll watchers pocket guide, and anything that could be helpful to your duties as a poll watcher at CAP. So what will you be looking for when you're doing your observations or monitoring at CAP? We just ask that you observe for anything that's inadvertent or deliberate misuse of the absentee ballot procedures that we will be educating you on in the next half hour, or the next couple hours or so. We ask that you watch the processing of the absentee ballots and take notes. Report any incidents again in your shift report. And if you do witness any incorrect procedures and you can't get a resolution to it, we ask that you, again, contact the Republican Party of Virginia hotline. So if you do have a problem, you should pose your question, you should pose a question about your concern. And if that doesn't resolve it, then you need to call the hotline and tell them what's going on. You can also send them an email. If they don't answer right away, they will get back to you. And also, we'd ask that you let the poll watchers know either by calling the helpline or the poll watchers at Fairfax County GOP.org email. Send an email to us to let us know what's going on. So where exactly do you go to be a poll watcher at CAPT? Well, you go to the Fairfax County Government Center. That's where the CAP activities are. You go to room 323. It's at 12,000 Government Center Parkway in Fairfax, Virginia. You go directly to room 323. When you get to room 323, there will be a sign-in binder. They'll ask you to sign in and put your party affiliation down. At that time, you will present your letter of authorization that you will receive in an email when you finish this training. They will keep your copy of that authorization letter. So you need to bring several. Actually, you need to bring one for every shift that you are going to poll watch at. They will also ask you for an ID to prove you are a registered voter in Virginia, because in order to be a poll watcher in Virginia, you have to be a registered voter. Once they confirm that, they will give you a vest with a badge that indicates you are an authorized representative of the Republican Party. And again, you are required to wear it until you leave the building. At that time, the staff will either take you to the room or they will send someone to escort you exactly where your shift is scheduled, whatever room the CAP shift is scheduled for. The CAP schedules for the special and general election are as follows. Actually, the special election has already started. The absentee ballots were mailed from the printer yesterday, July 25th. Mail-or check-in will start on August 4th and goes through September 12th. Ballot extraction starts on August 25th. Ballot scanning on August 27th. And the hand counts will be done on September 9th. And all activities are estimated to be completed by September 9th for the special election. September 12th. The CAP schedule for the general election, which starts in September, and that would be the governor's race, that will go from September 19th, when they mail out the absentee ballots, all through till November 7th. The two shifts, there will be 2 shifts per day for each function. The first shift is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the second shift will start at 1 p.m. and go till 4:30 p.m. Sometimes in the scanning process itself, the shifts will go past 4:30 if they have a lot of ballots and they want to finish up a box. So you may be doing poll watching and scanning, and if the shift does go past 4:30, we ask that you do stay until they close down the scanner, if at all possible. Now, just remember, when you're working with the poll watching activities at CAP, the schedule is very flexible. Sometimes your shifts can be canceled the day before, sometimes the morning of. It all depends on how many ballots come in through the mail and the drop box to the Office of Elections, and if they have enough ballots to process on that given day. So sometimes we get more notice than others, so we ask that you be flexible. You will be contacted if, in fact, your shift will be canceled. This is a sample copy of the letter of authorization that we've talked about that you will be getting at the end of this presentation via email. It is a personalized letter. It will have your name on it and the date of the election for which you're poll watching. So the special election would have a September date on it. Oh, September 9th, I believe, and the general election will have a November date, November 4th. This is the letter that you need to get access to the facilities to poll watch. Now, just so you know, the verbiage below your name and the date of the election, these are all the Virginia laws and the number of those laws that coincide with poll watching. So you can read those. These are the laws that protect you as a poll watcher, and they're all listed right here. We suggest that you read them. Again, you must bring a copy for each shift that you poll watch for, and just remember the chief or the people that you hand the letter to will keep it. They need it for their files. As part of your poll watching activities this year, we're asking you all to sign on to a code of conduct. It's very similar to what the election officers take an oath to. And basically what it says is that you're affirming that you're a registered voter in Virginia, that you'll be courteous with the public, the election officials, any election officers, and all the volunteers, regardless of their political affiliation or any other personal attribute. It asks that you comply with the federal and Virginia laws, and those are all listed on your authorization form, and that if you observe non-compliance with any of the election laws or the required election processes, that you will communicate it to the chief or the team leads, and then if you can't get a resolution, that you will contact the legal sources at the Republican Party of Virginia hotline to report it as an incident. So that's basically what it's asking you. I've also included some of the Virginia code, just for those of you who might be interested. So the codes that pertain to CAP are under the 24.2, and I've listed the different laws that are applicable to CAP. You can go through them on your own. There's a hyperlink right here, and here are all the different ones that might be applicable to processing the ballots, if in fact you're interested. Now let's talk about the CAP functions. What exactly do they do at CAP? Well, again, CAP is where they process all the absentee ballots, and there are several separate and distinct functions, and they all have their own specific set of procedures that must be followed correctly. And we'll go over all of them. We have the mail or receipt function, where the ballots come into the mailroom and they are processed in there to go to mail or check-in. Mail or check-in is where they actually check the voter ballots into the VERIS database, which is the voter registration database. We have the mailer curing function, which the mailer receipt team and the mailer check-in team both do. It's just checking the ballots to make sure that the voters have included all the information that they need to make it a legal ballot. But then we have the mailer envelope opening. They slit the envelopes to extract the ballots. That's where we get ballot extraction from. The ballot extraction team actually prepares the ballots for the ballot scanning team to be scanned into the scanner and counted and put on a thumb drive and then transferred to the election offices down in Virginia, in Richmond. And then we have the hand counts, last but not least, and that's where they actually have to hand count all the ballots that are not scannable. So they have to do it by hand. We do have the 7 different functions, but not all of the functions at CAP are observable. So the functions that the poll watchers are able to go in and observe are the mailer check-in process, the envelope opening and ballot extraction process, the ballot scanning and the data export from the scanner, and the handling of those thumb drives which go down to Richmond, to the elections office. And we can also observe the hand counts. Just remember, all the cap balloting processes involve either personal identifiable information or actual ballots. So when you're in the poll, when you're in cap, you will not be permitted to see anything close up because of the personal identifiable information, and you cannot look at any of the ballots. You can't look at the screen, the Veris information system, the screen that's being used to check in the ballots. But you can sit at a distance from about 10 to 20 feet, and you can hear, excuse me, you can hear what's going on, and you can also copy data from all the daily and cumulative logs for the poll watcher reports. I'm having a little, oh, there we go. Uh-oh. Okay, so that's the end of lesson 1. I gave you a quick overview of exactly what the central absentee precinct is and all the functions that you will be observing. So we're going to move on to lesson 2, which will go more in depth into the functions and exactly what is going on in a little more detail. So thank you very much.